Hey friends, imagine this. One of the most complex genetic conditions in the world, Down syndrome, is caused by just one extra copy of a single chromosome. One copy too many, and everything changes. Now imagine if we could delete that extra chromosome, after it's already part of a human cell. That's exactly what scientists in Japan just did. And while the world was busy scrolling past headlines, this tiny breakthrough in a Tokyo lab might have just quietly opened the door to a future where Down syndrome could be treated at the genetic level. If this kind of deep dive into emerging science and its real-world impact interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Here on Mr. America, we dive deep into stories that mainstream media glosses over, but that could shape our future in ways we can't yet imagine. Let's start at the beginning. Down syndrome is caused by what's called trisomy 21. Meaning a person has 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of the usual 2. That one small difference affects development, cognition, health, and life expectancy in deeply personal ways. It's not rare either. According to the CDC, about 1 in every 700 babies born in the US has Down syndrome. Globally, over 6 million people live with it. And while society has come a long way in supporting individuals with Down syndrome, creating more inclusive education, better healthcare access, and stronger advocacy, there's never been a way to actually reverse the condition at its root. Until now, maybe. A research team from the University of Tokyo published a paper that flew under the radar. Using cells derived from a person with Down syndrome, they did something never done before. They completely removed the extra copy of chromosome 21 from the cell, not suppressed, not silenced, removed. The cells returned to a more typical genetic state, and then, something even more shocking happened. The cells began behaving more normally. This wasn't gene editing with CRISPR. This wasn't theoretical. It was real, replicable, and published in a peer-reviewed journal. So, is this a cure? No, at least not yet, and this is where things get both more complicated and more fascinating. We're not just talking about a medical breakthrough here. We're talking about a genetic technology that can change how we define disability, identity, and even humanity. And that raises huge ethical questions. Would removing the extra chromosome in the womb be considered healing or erasing? What happens to communities built around shared neurodivergence and identity? We want to hear from you on this. How do you feel about this development? Hopeful, cautious, concerned? Let us know in the comments below. Your perspective matters in this conversation. People with Down syndrome aren't broken. Many live rich, fulfilling lives, with friends, families, careers, and a deep sense of identity. Which is why some advocates are worried. Will this new technology eventually be used to eliminate diversity rather than empower choice? And others argue, shouldn't parents be allowed to reduce suffering if that option exists? It's an emotional, messy, and deeply human question. And it's not just about Down syndrome. This breakthrough could lead to many other chromosome-level treatments. The same technology could one day be used to remove extra chromosomes or defective DNA linked to diseases like Huntington's, certain forms of cancer. And yes, even autism, if considered through the wrong lens. The Tokyo team used a method called ZIST-mediated silencing, which works by triggering a natural mechanism to inactivate the extra chromosome. They combined that with a genetic cutting tool to eventually eject the entire chromosome. That's not just smart, it's historic. And if you've made it this far, maybe consider subscribing. We unpack topics that may not be trending yet, but will define the next decade. Now here's the twist. This wasn't funded by a giant pharmaceutical company or a billion-dollar US tech startup. It was basic university research, no flashy press conference, no stock price bump, just quiet, careful science. Which brings us to the suspenseful question we opened with: what happens now? The researchers have only done this in lab-grown cells, not in living humans. Clinical applications are years, maybe decades away. But make no mistake, this is a foundational moment in medical history. A proof of concept that one day, our understanding of treatable versus untreatable conditions could flip entirely. And it didn't come from Silicon Valley or AI, it came from a quiet lab in Japan, working on something the world had mostly given up on. So here's the big question I want to leave you with. If we can one day remove the extra chromosome that causes Down syndrome, should we? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Share your hopes, your concerns, your experiences. Let's have the kind of conversation this topic deserves. And if you believe in asking hard questions with empathy and curiosity, Then hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more stories coming your way. Until next time, take care of each other.